All right, it's live.
Okay, so what we need to do, it says discuss and record how a treatment professional or paraprofessional might prepare to capitalize on such opportunities to introduce and reinforce the types of resiliency factors from Walsh's article. Magdalena, you want to go first? Or
Okay,
you want to...
awesome. So in the article, I found 3 domains within the cognitive resilience model. The first one, it was the belief system. The second one, organizational patterns. And then the third one, communication process. So we found a lot of things that these therapists put into practice according to these 3 domains. The first one, belief system, he basically showing the crisis as a challenges that they can manage. Basically, give them hope and he gave them a positive outlook. And basically, he helped them learn through adversity that they can get better, they can become a better family. And when it comes to organizational patterns, he taught them the capacity to change. He made them see that they were normal, the feelings were normal, and they needed to have a plan. And he basically told them, okay, maybe you should be with your son, and maybe you should go out with your sister. So he made it a plan, and he helped them organize what they were going to do after the session. And then last one, communication process. He helped them see everyone's perspective and help them communicate a little bit better. And obviously, it's going to be a long process for them. But he helped them see that they have to be able to listen to each other and be able to share their feelings better, send better messages, more clear messages to each other so they can not have this confusion of, oh, I think you feel this way about me, but I think now you feel this way about me. So that's basically some of the things that we came up comparing them to the domains that we saw in the article. So, yep.
I thought the optimism one, just kind of showing them that there was hope and there was a way that they could get past it, was really good. We talked previously too, I think for a new if we were saying what would be good to include for a new therapist or someone going in, I thought the timeline thing was really effective too. Just kind of establishing, like, where do you come from? And it wasn't just as a family. He kind of established like where the dad came from with how things were dealt with when he was a kid. And so I thought establishing a timeline was really important. And also what we talked about before, which I thought was good, was just normalizing things, just letting them know that families go through this, that it was normal for the mom to feel the way she did, normal for the dad to feel the way he did, the sister, the brother, with no judgment. So that like, I can't remember which one of you was saying before, it just created a safe space for them to be able to express themselves and to feel like their points were that they were validated too.
One thing I liked was how engaged he was. Like, physically, he was sitting on the edge of his chair, and he was really looking in the eyes of every single person that he was talking to. And just like we said before, he was asking maybe the most simplest questions, but he got a lot out of it. And he learned a lot out of those questions about who the family was, the kind of things they were going through, the emotions that they feel, and everything that was going on through that session, which I liked.
Yeah, because that was one of the things in Walsh's paper, was to clarify ambiguous situations. Mm-hmm. And he did that a lot, things that seem kind of ambiguous, or he was kind of clarifying for everyone, which I think would be an important thing to do for whoever was meeting with someone in that way.
Right.
I think what's going off of what you said of how he was, truth speaking, of he was clarifying things, and he was also encouraging people to get through these situations and their emotions. And he kind of took charge in the session of directing the speech and finding out the true meanings. But what I really liked was, even though he was in charge of the session, he's like, okay, guys, but I'm just this person. You're really the ones who are in charge of healing your family, and you're the ones who have the power to do it. And he really built them up of like, you can find your solution. Here are some ideas, and we'll brainstorm together these ideas that can help you. But you're really in charge of doing it, and I know you can do it. And I like that I had confidence in your family, and in you that you can do it. And I liked that, and I think that's something really important for any person who's going as a therapist or whatnot, to be able to do that, to help them in the session, and then facilitate the changes outside of the session as well.
Yeah.
I think kind of something along that line is we made sure the family kind of came in disconnected and kind of they were kind of all kind of almost away against each other because there was so much contention in the house, but they left with the session all kind of on the same front, and they were all a team. They all had the same goal. They all were dedicated to making it so that they saw that each one of their actions of how they reacted to the problem fueled and was a chain reaction, and how they wanted to be a team, make it better. Encouragement of, you can do this. I'm here to provide you with the steps, but it's on you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also one of the things in the paper that would be important, which he did do in the session that we watched, but also something that should be done is that whole risk. What was it called? Risk? I can't remember, but it was basically determining if there was risk involved. So I would say that would be something too, because if there is risk, then that needs to be addressed. So just determining whether there in fact is risk or not.
I think it's kind of like the appraisal of the crisis. He was really trying to get at what the real crisis was and what components were affecting this crisis that they were having. So it may not be exactly what you're saying, but I think it goes along with how he approached the crisis and looked at it and tried to dissect it into the individual strands that were making this big issue.
And to look for other things, like we were saying when we talked. The husband and wife were obviously having issues over it too. So I would think a therapist going into it to teach them those skills would make them feel confident that they could work on any of the issues, whether it be husband and wife or parent, child, whatever.
Yeah, everyone is related to each other.
Mm-hmm.
He did a great job with making sure to ease all their anxieties, all their family. Everyone was hurt, felt heard. He made sure that people got to say what they needed to say, and it was a safe environment. And there was no one cut anyone off, no one talked over the other person. It was everyone got their time to say what they needed to say to work through the issue.
Yeah, I almost think they could have never conversed like that if they were just in the house trying to solve a problem. It's so needed to have somebody to kind of referee in a way that communication and help them communicate and express what they think they know, but they don't really even know how to put it into words.
I like that because at the beginning it seemed kind of awkward when the whole family started walking in, but the therapist just knew how to make it not awkward and everything was smooth, and it worked perfectly for them, and you could tell they started getting comfortable by how he was able to smooth out the rough services at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know it's not a wash. Go ahead.
Sorry, the therapist was really, he didn't mind if things were awkward. He was still ready to bear through and get to what would make everyone else feel comfortable. He was not fazed by that. So,
I think something else we talked about is that he was very non-judgmental. He didn't judge the others, let them say what they needed to say, even if that wasn't maybe how he would want it or maybe how he would want his family. He respected that that's where the family was at the moment, and there was no judgment.
I like that. He didn't try and say, well, this is what my family does, so maybe you should try it out. He had things come up from his mind and what he thought would be best for their family by how their family system works. He didn't look at another family to compare to. He didn't look at his own family to compare to. He thought what would genuinely help this family for their own good.
Well, the only comparison he made for his own family was when he said things like, it's really hard for us to let this last child go too.
Yeah.
So it was the whole normalization. He didn't say, well, our family does it this way, but it's he kind of just let him know. Because I thought it was interesting when she said, what did she say? Something like, it's hard to come in and admit that you need help.
Yeah.
And I think every family needs help, but you think you're the only family that does. So I thought it was interesting that he made a point of letting her know that that's really hard for him and his family to do without giving, without giving them how to do it.
Exactly.
I think, yeah, like you were saying, he empathized with them. He showed them
Mhm.
that he has those same feelings within his family, and so it's completely normal to have those feelings. That doesn't make
Mhm.
you dysfunctional or whatnot. It just makes you normal.
Yes.
He created a safe haven almost in the room where
Mhm.
they wouldn't have to feel awkward or weird or
Right.
okay, ladies, any more suggestions or anything else you would like to share?
I think that's great.
Okay, good.
I'm going to stop the recording, okay?